Jaguar is about to undergo one of the biggest transformations in, well, its car making history. It's about to become a pure electric car maker by 2025. But in the meantime, it's got to continue selling cars like this. And we're very, very glad because this is the facelifted Jaguar F-PACE SVR. Now, what's new? Well, what's new is this car has undergone hundreds of detailed changes to ensure you buy it over its competitors. So come on then. Would you buy one over a Macan Turbo? Now, to help the F-PACE battle out against the Porsche SUV, it has a crucial advantage, and I'll show you. Don't normally open bonnets in these reviews, but I think we'll make an exception for this because it is Jaguar Land Rover's glorious 5-litre supercharged V8, and in the F-PACE SVR, it produces 405 kilowatts, which is the same as the last car, but it produces 700 Newton meters of torque, which is 20 more than before. Against the clock, the facelifted F-PACE can now hit 100 kilometers per hour in 4 seconds dead. That's seriously quick. Top speed, meanwhile, increases to 286 kilometers per hour, which is still borderline insane for an SUV. To cope with that level of performance, Jaguar engineers, well, they have done a huge amount to the old F-PACE to ensure that, well, it's stable at high speed. And that includes designing the entire front of this car, including the bonnet. There's actually the same bonnet vents as before, but it comes down lower to this enlarged grille. Now, these all air intakes here, they're all functional. Everything is functional about this car. Now, on the side, on these fenders here, you get these extractors here now, which are apparently supposed to reduce front lift over this axle by 35%. Other big changes for the F-PACE SVR include a complete retune of the suspension. Now, engineers say they've made the comfort mode more comfortable and the dynamic mode, well, you can guess, more dynamic, stiffer, with better body control. And on the road, you can really tell there's a lot less body roll and, well, there's just a lot more confidence to push on. In normal circumstances, the all-wheel drive of the SVR runs in 50-50 front to rear, but in comfort mode, it shuffles 70% of its torque to the back axle and 30 to the front. Now, switch to dynamic mode, and again, it goes 90 back, 10 front for a real rear bias handling. Jaguar engineers have also given it a staggered tyre setup as well, so the front tyres are slightly narrower at the front, and the rear tyres are slightly wider, and that sort of gives it a lot more agility in turning in. It makes it feel like the car's sort of pivoting around your hips. Even the steering has been retuned. The old car's variable ratio rack carries over but has been tweaked for better responses and more feeling off-centre. Other things we have to mention about the F-PACE SVR is the brake pedal feel now feels like, well, a Porsche. It's really quite firm, but it's so progressive that you always know how much braking you need at any given time, and they just never, ever fade. The suspension has been thoroughly overhauled, and as well as retuning the dampers, 70% of its bushing has been replaced for increased agility and sharpened responses. One of the key objectives of the facelifted F-PACE SVR was to broaden its appeal. The first generation, for anyone who's driven it, probably loves it because it's so hardcore. But you know what, that puts a lot of people off. I mean, it never quite rode very nicely. Not something we can say about this car. They have spent ages fine-tuning the suspension to make sure it's just a lot more comfortable when you're doing what we're doing right now, just pottering along. But at the same time, they've helped boost agility, and that's been achieved by things like replacing the bushing, the suspension bushing. Around 70% of it is all new to sort of increase the steering feel and responses when you're on roads you love to drive. When you're not in the mood, the fast Jag SUV is quieter too. There's more sound deadening, while there's a new noise cancellation system that uses the car's speakers to reduce road and wind noise. So just to recap, the F-PACE SVR is a bit quieter, a bit more refined, rides a bit better, but you know what? Forget about that, because what you want to do with a car like this is you switch to dynamic mode, as we do now. We uncork the exhaust, we firm everything up, and we just enjoy the phenomenal levels of performance on tap. And the noise. Despite sounding pretty great, the old car's V8 bark has actually gone thanks to a new petrol particulate filters.
but most will appreciate the more mature, less shouty soundtrack.
Now, it's probably worth mentioning just a few things we don't really get on with the new facelifted F-PACE SVR, and the first thing is, the fuel consumption is not good. 17 litres per 100 is pretty grim, but you can get better if you just don't drive it like the way you're supposed to drive it. And the other thing is the stop-start system. I know you can turn it off, just takes an age to start up after you've driven something with mild hybrid. It just literally is embarrassing at a set of traffic lights. But other than that, this thing is pretty damn fantastic. Now, the Jaguar F-PACE SVR arrives in Australia this April, and it is priced from $141,000, which is around $700 more than the last car. Now, how does that fare against its rivals? Well, things like the BMW X3 competition, well, that's $16,000 more expensive, and the Mercedes GLC AMG is $27,000 more expensive. I'd choose this car every day of the week, if only just for the sound.